You're in the Temple of the Rants, where I rant about whatever my $15 a month plus patrons want me to rant about. You can get one of these by being one of those. This one's for Mition, who says, rant about Doujin music circles and musicians. For example, Felt did the Princess Principal OP, so that may be a good jumping off point. Unfortunately, I don't know nothing about the band Felt. But Doujin music, it's interesting stuff. Doujin in Japan just basically means self-published, so you could kind of argue that, any self-published music, I could be considered a Doujin music artist because I release my stuff on Bandcamp, and, if some of my friends who did, like, for instance, just Fern doing albums that she would just print onto discs and sell at BronyCon, that's Doujin music in a way. So I guess I'm friends with Doujin musicians and people who do stuff like that. But when I think Doujin music, I first, of course, think of Toho, as there are just endless amounts of Toho remix albums out there in every conceivable musical style. But I also think of Sound Horizon, which is a really interesting group led by a guy called Revo, who does these fascinating, sort of experimental, proggy story albums where there's elements of dramatic reading, like literal voice acting in these songs, and like narration and stuff in between, more traditional song structures, and usually a huge group of musicians working on each project, lots of different singers and actors and stuff who appear, and each one is a concept album telling a sort of, aesthetically driven story, usually that's kind of confusing and fucking batshit crazy. Revo, of course, is probably best known for and I think that was as Linked Horizon, or it might have just been Revo himself, because Linked Horizon, I think, is him working with Yuki Kajiura, who did some stuff for anime as well. Jemang was a singer in that group who also did the Umineko ED. Yami yo kiri saku wa desire. If you've never heard that one, it's fucking great. But yeah, Sound Horizon has some real jams. My favorite is Marchen, which is like a 7.5-minute opus that has Hatsune Miku as a character in it as well, playing like a puppet. And Marty Friedman, the guitarist from fucking Megadeth, ex-Megadeth guitarist, is in there. So yeah, basically anybody who he can get on his albums, he will get. And his songwriting's pretty fun. I don't think I like any of their albums from start to finish. I don't necessarily like the slower songs as much as their crazy-ass rock songs and proggy stuff, but yeah, Sound Horizon's the Doujin music that most prominently comes to mind, just because it's so distinctive and so interesting, and the idea that he was able to build up such a fascinating group and do stage shows and all this crazy shit as a Doujin musician is pretty fucking exceptional. I don't know if Supercell was originally considered a Doujin music group, if Ryo started off that way. I don't know where people draw the line of what is or isn't Doujin music. I don't know if it's just if you're signed or unsigned. But yeah. That's all I can think of to say about that.